Hi guys, it's me again, Tom. It's been a while. Back here with On The Road tutorials. And today I'm going to be showing you how to create admin extension. So an extension we can put onto the product page, and it can add extra functionality. Not just obviously this one will be just for the product page, but it can be extra functionality for, you can do it for customer accounts, you can do it for product variant pages. So when you go into each variant, you can do it on orders or the order dashboard page. The possibilities are endless, to be fair, and because it's something over the past 4 or 5 months I've only just got into, I kind of wanted to do a bit of a tutorial on it. And kind of help you guys and how you can implement it yourself. So the example we're going to do today is we want to be able to create a metafield within the product dashboard. So bit of a gimmick, but instead of having to go into settings and custom data and create a metafield from there, why don't we give the user the ability to create it straight from the product dashboard? So that's going to be the concept. I'm going to pass through all the different URLs we use for guidance. So we're going to use the admin UI extension documentation. Because we're creating a metafield, we're going to be using the metafield definition create, and then just extra bonus ones like the components for admin extensions. So we're going to use a button to help us with this functionality. So let's try and keep this as straightforward as possible and as quick as possible, because then you can go and try it yourself. I've already done this stage because we've got previous videos that help you with this, but essentially you just want to install the Shopify app. Either do it in JavaScript React or TypeScript React, I would suggest. And then you want to go to your app directory, and then when you're in your app directory, you then want to do npm run generate extension. So I've already done this, and this is kind of what it looks like. This is my extension. So we go on the left here, extensions. I've just called it admin block, but you can call it what you want. And then in here we've got some key folders. The most important one is the source, because this is the block extension. This is kind of what shows on the front end. And then you've got the Shopify extension, toml file. Essentially that's your handle, so never change that. That's the name. Type UI extension, so you never have to change that really. And it does all this automatically, this bit, but this is quite important. So if this module doesn't have the same directory as this, then it won't work. And then if the target admin product details block render isn't the same as this, well, essentially this part, then it won't render either. So just bear that in mind. Make sure they always match up, because I've made that mistake before, not on this application, but different extensions. And then you've got the local files, which is basically the translation files. So we've just got one, and they do this by default for English and then for French. So you can see that's in French. It says welcome. Well, that's not what it says on the front end, but so welcome, and then that's the text in French, and won't even bother translating because I'm awful at languages. And then this is what it is in English. So welcome to extension. Target is just something you pass through. So let's go back here so you can see that's what we're referencing to, the welcome part. That should make sense now. And the target is what we pass through. So essentially this. All we're doing is passing through this here. And you'll see when we run this, when we do npm run dev, which we won't do at the moment, it will show. So yeah, that's kind of an overview of the key folders or files in the folders. The only one we probably need to cover is this one right at the bottom, shopify.app.toml. Looks very similar to the previous one we just had a look at, which is called shopify.extension.toml. This one is for the overall app altogether and how it works with your app configurations. So for example, the API version you're using, so wherever you host it, I usually use fly.io, so they'll give you a URL for that. This is just a local run, well not local, but this is just a dev URL, and then the name you gave the app, etc, etc. The key thing here today will be the scopes. We'll need to do read products and write. You don't actually need to have a space there. Right, products. So just make sure you put that into the shopify.app.toml for this example, and always make sure you got your scopes up to date, because otherwise Shopify will give you a big fat error when you do any GraphQL mutations or API calls. So that is essentially that. I am going to do npm run dev just to get started. That's just raise a very good point actually. We're going to quit npm run dev. You didn't just you probably didn't see that. There we go. But Shopify, you have to run Shopify app deploy to push the scopes. So I've just changed the scopes in the app, but we need to push them. So I'm pretty sure it's npm run deploy still. Yeah. So we're going to do npm run deploy. Oh, npm run deploy. Misspelt that there. Let's just check the camera's still working. Yeah, nice. Yeah, release. So we've pushed those scopes to our app, so we can now do npm run dev. And hopefully, if it hurries up, what we will see in the front end is the app displaying. So we're just gonna open, if you see here, press P to preview in browser. I don't know why it's not previewing in this browser. Let's install this app. Fully installed it. Ignore that. We just need to push it again. Okay, well this doesn't really matter actually. It should run itself. Yeah. So here we are. So you can clearly see here at the bottom our app block. So kind of like the blocks up here, but we've just added another one, and that's the text I've shown you. So welcome to admin block details. And now let's get coding, because we need to change that so it's going to create a metafield for us. So if we import button, just going to get things set up here, and then import use state from React. Save that. For the moment, we're going to keep that text there, but let's put a button above it. That's what Copilot's come up with for the moment. We're going to change this to create metafield. But let's just see if that's, yeah, so that's popped up on the front end. Nothing happens because I'm pretty sure alert won't render in that, but that's fine. Or is it on press? I'm pretty sure still alert doesn't work, but I might be wrong. Yeah. So what we want to do is const yeah, let's do that. I didn't want that, but that will come useful. Const create metafield. That's going to work, isn't it? Yeah. Let's just close that for the moment. Now what we want here is, there's no point even needing to write this out. This is where our documentation is going to come in handy. So we want to do, there is an example here somewhere. This. So what's really good is, let me just run you through this direct API access. What's really good about this is that you can directly call this Shopify GraphQL, the Shopify admin GraphQL from your block extension. So if we just go and copy and paste this, and we're going to change it to what we want it to do. Just going to remove that for the moment because I'm going to want to put some stuff below it. ID, we're not passing ID through. So we want to change the variables, obviously, and the query, and we're going to be doing a mutation. So let's go to our other piece of documentation, which is this, and we want to copy and paste all of this. We're going to be editing this later, but this is we're creating a metafield, so we need metafield definition create to create a metafield. And then the variables, we're just going to copy everything. My eyesight's bad. Everything these guys did. And then we can edit this later, I think. Save that. Yep. And then we just want to console log that JSON. Save that. And then we want to do, what did we call it? Create metafield. So this should theoretically, when you press this button, it should then call this, which is then gonna call all this, which is going to create a metafield with the namespace. That's going to be the name, it's going to be the key. None of this really matters because we're going to change all this. What I might want to do though is I'm not really bothered about the description. I do want to pin it though, actually. Oh. Yeah, so that looks all good. So we're going to check our console logs and see if we've got any errors, and then we can work from there. So this console log might be a bit crazy because we've got an extension running. I can't see anything because the Vimeo thing's in the way. 1 second. Whoa. Sorry about this, guys. Give us 1 sec. What's that console log coming from? The data, yeah. That's actually be useful, possibly. So let's clear all this. We're going to give it a go. So let's see what happens here on the right hand side. So we've got a response. Where are our metafields? Up here. Extension. It seems to have gone through. No errors. Wow. And there we go. I'll go out of that. And it should, because we pinned it. We did, didn't we? Yeah, so now it appears there. Fantastic. So what we can do now, and we'll try and fly through this last part of the tutorial, because it seems like you might already have got to grips with this. Let's do 2 things. Let's change this text here to I'm pretty sure that's going to be so I'm going to change this to test, change this to test, save it. Just want to create another metafield because I just want the data. Sorry, my computer's been really slow now. Let's close that. Let's just refresh the whole page because I'm pretty sure that is causing it to be slow. Just want to console log this. Yes, it's data. Data.metafield definition. Cool. So we want to get. Just going to copy and paste that so I don't forget. I can refresh the page again. It's because I've got Vimeo running in the background. So we want to set, what did we call it? Set metafields. JSON dot. Is that what we wanted? No, we want the name. Cool. And we're actually going to change this. Change it to a string. return something at least, and then we're going to change this text, so hopefully this should be dynamic. What do we call it? Metafields. Metafields was successfully created. We have to change this again. Test. We're going to be really original here. Key is agree. There we go. Test 2 was successfully created. Nice. Now what we can do, because this part isn't very dynamic, so we got text field in there. Okay, text field. Right, let's do this really quickly. So text field you can use as like an input field. Copilot might be able to help me here to do this quickly. So, const, what do we want to change? Metafield name. Const, metafield namespace, there we go. Key, we'll get down to true later. So later on, what you can do using components, you could use pin and type as not a text field but like a drop down. So you could either, the drop down could be true or false, or the type could be single line text field or multi-line text field or boolean, for example. But we're not going to get into this bit for the moment. Just want to, and we'll keep owner type as static because it's in the product page. So just keep it simple and make these dynamic. So can we? No. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Name. Got all for memory I have. Also, there we go. Yeah, namespace, key. Let's fill key. Yeah, that all makes sense. So now what we do now is use our text field. There we go. So let's use a first example. So label. So the text field has an option for label. So we're going to call that metafield name. And on change, it will set the meta field, which will then display that. I don't actually think that's right. That is that meta field name. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you don't need the value there. Yeah. should work. Alright, metafield name we're gonna call. Also, let's just see. Testing. Okay. We're going to call it dynamic. And the namespace is going to be custom, and it's going to be dynamic. Custom dynamic. That makes sense. There we go. So we go to view all. Okay, look at that single line as well. So yeah, how long was this video, guys? That was almost half an hour. Yeah, a bit longer than I wanted it to be. I wanted this to be quick and easy, but you can still see kind of, hopefully that's taught you the basic functionalities of admin UI extensions and what's possible. Really cool, I think they are, and literally opens the door of loads of things to be done within a Shopify store. So I do hope this tutorial's been helpful, and yeah, if you've got any other tutorial suggestions, please comment below. I'm going to try and do, everything's been quite app based, so I'm going to try and do some theme based tutorials as well. But yeah, open to suggestions. Cheers, guys.